Okay, so next is the i-Series, and we have two devices here, and one is called the i12 Plus, which is this one. 12 meaning the 12-inch diagonal on the screen, and the one on the right is called the i15, and it's designated i15 because it's a 15-inch diagonal screen. Now with these, they both have the same internals. So the processor speed and the sides, you notice there are 3 side buttons here. Lower towards the bottom, on this foot, there are 3 USB ports, and there's an Ethernet port under that. On the back, you can see the way it was designed, with the speakers being on the far back there. And it's a purposeful design for not only having the speakers in the back like that facing out, but for the device to be able to sit up like this. So one option, one nice piece for some people is they're actually able to use it on some tabletops, not always need to have it mounted, which in the past our devices typically always needed a mount. They needed something, so they needed a table mount or a rolling mount or a chair mount. And now you can see, depending on the user, they may be able to use the device without even having it mounted, if they're using eye tracking as a form of communication or access, I should say. So here's the front, and on the other side, sorry I didn't show this side, on the other side there are 2 switch ports, an HDMI out port, headphone jack, and the power port. Now the HDMI out port, that might be familiar to some people, or they use it for, it's for television. Mm-hmm. So when we plug our cable box in, a lot of times now they have the HDMI out, which go into our TV. So on this one, the HDMI out, I've seen this used, kind of neat. One person that I know plugs this into a monitor, and then what happens is it just becomes a mirror image. But what's nice is he's in bed using this while somebody's sitting at the coffee table, and he has the monitor on the coffee table, so they're able to so they're not standing behind him the whole time watching him type. So it's nice for them to be able to just sit down comfortably. So I talk about that a lot because I think it was a great use of the HDMI out port. When we first came out with it, I wasn't sure exactly what, besides projection on another thing that I've seen is projection on a screen in the classroom, on the larger white paneled screens that I can't think of course.
The whiteboards?
Yeah.
Okay.
Smart boards, thank you. I've seen those on smart boards, projected to smart boards, which is nice. So those are a couple uses for that HDMI out. So as far as the 2 devices go, like I said, they're both the same internally. So we're looking for access methods on these right now. The way that the way both of these are, we're looking at direct selection, switch access, and eye tracking. So they both offer that. Another thing that I want to say though is I oftentimes go to evaluations, and people don't realize that you can do things besides eye tracking. You can touch the screen. You can use these as switch access. So if somebody needs scanning, they just can't do eye tracking, or it's just not going to be a way of their access. They can use switch scanning with these. Okay, the eye tracking does not need to be built in, and if the eye tracking is not built in, they look exactly the same. They just don't have the eye tracking inside of it. Okay, so that's a point that I wanted to make, because that happens a lot where I go out and they think that we can only have access to, or they could only use the smaller devices for touch or for switch, and that's not the case. We can totally look at these without eye tracking. Yeah, you're welcome. So with eye tracking, so that's is what we're going to look at on these right now. Both of these are suited or fitted with eye tracking, and they both have the latest eye tracker in them, which is called the IS4. You don't really need to know that, but all the new devices now have the latest hardware. And we do build these from the ground up. All the devices that I've shown so far are built from the ground up by Tobii Dynavox. They're developed and made by us. So the nice thing part about that is we have control over all of those items, like I said in the beginning. So they're able to have full creative leeway over everything that's on the device and not have to worry about, oh boy, there's a new tablet that's out now, so we have to, and it's got something new in it, so we have to change. We have to change our box style. We have to change things on it. So with these, they don't do that. They're obviously created from right from the ground up. So that's a really nice thing. They're also fitted with mounting plates on the back. So every device always comes with a mounting plate, and these mounting plates are these two. What's really nice about these is we can flip these. So you can see this one. Has like these fins on the side, and these on this side, this one doesn't. So this mounting plate is made for a different mounting company called Daisy, and this one is made for a mounting company called Readapt. But what's nice about the plate is it's reversible. So all I have to do is take the 3 screws out and turn it. So it's just another little caveat, just in case anybody ever gets a device and gets the plate on, and they go, oh, they gave me the wrong plate, they can actually flip it. I don't know if anybody will watch that and get that, but it might happen. You never know. It could be a little nugget that helps out. The other thing that the I-Series do really, really well is infrared controls. So these have, you would have the ability to control televisions, lots of different things if they're infrared. So the device itself has to be infrared for you to be able to control it. Some of the newer televisions now have radio frequency. So the issue with the radio frequency is that this is an infrared control, so it needs to be IR and not RF. So if that's the case, a company like Comcast, you can actually switch their remotes to infrared.